Okay, guys, welcome to a new set of notes. These notes are going to be titled Change in Position. Change in position. All right. Now, first off, I want to do a quick recap on what exactly position is. So let's just remember that position is the exact location of an object. Okay, good. So remember that it's the exact location. We always have to compare it to another object. But now we want to talk about what happens when that object moves, okay? So let's put a little note here. We're going to say when an object moves, we can calculate the change in position. All right, awesome. And that's what we're going to talk about here, is that change in position. Now, there's one thing that I want to make really clear here, because this is going to be a little bit confusing at first, but I think you'll be okay once we actually talk about it a little bit. From now on, especially because this unit is all about our airline unit. So I'm going to draw, oh man, let's see how good of an airplane I can draw. All right, you guys don't draw anything yet. All right, this is going to be awesome, watch. So there's a wing. Yeah, okay. Sweet. All right, so there's my airplane. I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it small. Now, with our airplane, we're not going to worry about its altitude up and down. All we're talking about is its horizontal position. All right, so it's horizontal position. Now, because when we talk about horizontal things, so side-to-side things, think about our graph. So don't draw this either, but think about our graph. The side-to-side chunk of the graph is what we call x. So when we're going to talk about the horizontal position, we are going to call that x. So let's do this. All right, x equals horizontal position, or we can just think of it as side-to-side position. So from now on, every time you see an x, that x is going to mean where is that airplane at in a side-to-side direction. We're not going up and down here, just side-to-side. Okay, now the next thing is when that airplane moves, okay? So when it moves along, its x value is going to change, okay? So the first thing we have to know is where does the airplane start? Okay, so, all right, so we're going to come, oh, there we go. We're going to talk about starting position, okay? And we need to assign a variable to that. That's why I left a little space. So our starting position, the way we're going to do that is we're going to call it x, because it's position, but we're going to put a little I on it, okay? And here's what that I stands for. That I stands for initial. And if you look up initial on your computer, which you are certainly welcome to do, the meaning of the word initial means starting or at the beginning. So right here, my airplane, I'm going to go ahead and erase some of this stuff so we can talk about it, okay? We'll get rid of this, all right? So when my airplane starts, it is at xi, or that's its initial position. Now, then my airplane is going to move, right? And I'm going to copy it. and paste it. All right, so it starts here, and then it's going to move, and it's going to end up on the other side of the page or across the sky. Now, that is going to be my ending position. All right. Now, ending position also has a special notation. Just like we had xi, now we're going to have x, but we're going to call this xf. And can anybody guess what the F stands for? It stands for final. So now I've got my initial or starting position, and I've got my ending or final position. So we'll call that xf. Okay. Now, the last thing that we need to define is what was the change? How much did its position change? So change in position. All right. So I need to have some sort of notation now to describe what that change in position is. So what we're going to assign for change in position, now this is funky looking, all right? So delta x is change in position. Now let's make kind of a big, here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a box. Okay? And in this box is a little side note, okay? From now on, delta, okay, that triangle equals, we pronounce that as delta. All right? And it means change in. All right? So delta Mr. McSparron's hair color would be the change in Mr. McSparron's hair color. Delta money in my bank account would be the change in the money in my bank account. So anytime we see that little triangle from now on, it means change in. So if we look at this, okay, delta means change in. X means position. So delta X means change in position. Hopefully that makes sense. If that's still a little confusing, you just raise your hand and let me know, and I'll come talk you through it a little bit more. Okay? All right. So finally, we need an equation. And so in order to calculate delta x, if I want to find it, all right, we are going to use the final position and subtract the initial or the beginning position. So I'm going to highlight this, and if you have a highlighter in your bag, you highlight this as well or put a box around it. This is one of our new equations. Okay, that's really important. Let's make sure that we've got it highlighted, or we've got it boxed in or marked somehow, as that's one of the things that's really important here. Now I want to give you a quick example. Okay, and I'm a football coach, so I have to come up with a football example here. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a football field. And if you want to draw a football field, you draw a football field too. Now we know that football fields have an end zone. Okay? And then they've got yard lines. So they've got the 10-yard line, the 20-yard line, the 30-yard line, the 40, and the 50. So this is just a half a field. Now, what you don't usually see on a football field is what number do you think would go with the goal line? Yeah, that's right. 0. The 0-yard line would be our goal line. So let's think about this situation, okay? So let's say that there's Mr. McSparron. We'll draw him. He's looking good. All right, actually, hang on. We're gonna draw him. Let's draw him right about here. All right. So let's say that's Mr. McSparron, and let's say that Mr. McSparron's that's where he starts. So his initial position is 15 because he is 15 yards. Right. If this is 0, He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, 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 blah. He's 15 yards from 0. Now let's say they snap the ball. All right, so there's Mr. McSparron. They snap the ball, and Mr. McSparron runs downfield, and he gets tackled, boom, there, at the 40-yard line. So now his final position, XF, is 40. So what I want to know is, what's his change in position? What's his delta x? So if I go down here and make an equation, and I want to know delta x, change in position, well, I'm going to go up here and look at this and say, oh, okay, well, delta x is xf minus xi. So I'm going to go xf minus xi. Well, xf, I know it's 40, so I'm going to put that in place of xf. And then xi, I know it's 15, so instead of xi, I'm going to write 15. So now I know that delta x is 40 minus 15, and the change in x, the change in position, is 25 yards. All right, I hope that that example helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Remember, these are Cornell notes, okay? So, over on this side, write questions. Down here at the bottom, write a summary. All right, thanks for listening, guys, and on to the next thing.